Hey there, West up here. Appreciate you being with me. I want to give you a quick synopsis of what we're about to go through. So, if you've hung with us for a little bit, you've seen the process of going through profitability killer after profitability killer, specifically the issues in leadership and those intangible soft skills that are really hurting your organizations. What we're going to do is we're going to build off the last one. We've looked at how when we set clear expectations, we can remove so many of the costs that come from confusion, but we can only do that if we make sure we've got a culture of accountability. So, what we're going to start with is looking at the costs in our organizations when nobody's held accountable. So, before we can really dig into those costs, we've got to understand how unaccountability specifically eats that profit away from every aspect of our organization. Now, I'm going to address real quick, there's a bunch of different types of unaccountability or accountability, if you will. Gosh, we all hold ourselves to certain levels of accountability. In society, we've got rule of law, or at least in some cases we do. It's kind of slipping away here where I'm recording this right now in this country. But the fact is that in many cases, that level of accountability can vary. What we're going to specifically be looking at is in the workplace, how that unaccountability, when accountability slipped away, when leaders aren't holding their teams accountable, it can really impact that profitability. We're going to look at two specific areas, so to speak, that really back it with numbers and capture it in just those two areas. Not that they're the only two, but it's the two I want to grab your attention with, that it can be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year in just a small organization, say 50 to 100 employees, and it can be so much more in larger organizations. And we're going to look at why so many people would say, my goodness, Wes, if it's really that big of a deal, why is this something that really goes on? Is it even common? I can't imagine that this happens very often. And the answer is, it happens very often. It's so much such an issue that it's one of those things that we just can't see the forest for the trees. In many cases, we don't know what we don't know, so to speak. So we're going to look at why it's so common and how we can start to capture it and really pay attention to those things as we move forward. We'll dig into the things that we need to really pay attention to, rather, to make sure that we're capturing that profitability, and we can take some specific simple steps to hold our team members accountable, to create a culture where accountability is not a big deal, and it really increases performance because people buy into it. We've talked about some things like loyalty, increased performance, etc. here. So I hope that serves you well. And if you've never accessed it, wherever you're hearing this, wherever you're seeing this, whatever that may be, I'll challenge you to look for the link to complete our assessment that walks you through identifying your number one profitability, where you're at in your organization right now, because it's going to give you some tools, hopefully the most effective tools for you where you're at. It might be complimentary, it might be a low cost solution, it might be just a complimentary one-on-one session with me or Cindy to chat through what is that next step that we can help you with to start capturing that profitability back in your organization that leadership can really solve. We look forward to serving you. Make it a great day. God bless.